I love ballet, and what drew me to it is that it's a way to express yourself without words. You use your body and you listen to the music and move to that. It's a lot of hard work, but it pays off. When you're on stage, you feel free. You kind of just dissolve in the music, and the music starts controlling and like moving you.
I started ballet just because my sister was dancing, and you know how siblings always want to be like their older siblings, so they copy everything they do. But when I started dancing, I guess it was just something I couldn't give up. I would consider myself an artist and someone who just can't go without that, and that's why I was never able to give it up, because even if I try to stop, it's something that's in me rather than something I've simply enjoyed doing.
I have to admit, like, for the first few years or so, I wasn't really sure. It kind of happened over time. It wasn't immediately where I fell in love. I remember when I first started, before my mom even took me to ballet, I remember watching The Nutcracker. And it was like an old video, still when we had the cassettes, like the good old days. And I remember seeing the tutu, and I remember being like, I wasn't like, oh, I want to dance that. I was like, oh, I want to sit on one of those tutus, because they looked really flat and like plates, and I thought that you could sit on those. I was 3, so I didn't realize all the hard work that would go into it. I just thought like immediately I would be like the sugar plum fairy that was dancing.
I do ballet for around 17 hours a week. That's like classes, rehearsals, private lessons.
In the curriculum, it's about 3 hours a day, 5 times a week. But when it's performances, we have like theater rehearsals all day Sunday, obviously extra rehearsals, and competitions are lots of private lessons. You work by yourself with your coach because you're doing solos for competition. And that's obviously a lot of extra time too, but yeah, typically 3 hours a day.
Balancing school and ballet can be really challenging. It's a lot about time management because ballet is so demanding. It's a big time commitment. Doing schoolwork and like doing well in school can be hard.
Like when I'm choosing my schedule at school, I'm like, oh, I want to take this AP class, and I want to take this class, and I want to take this class, and I want to take all these other classes. But then ultimately, I have to think of, will this work with show season when rehearsal goes really late? And like, will I be able to keep my grades up and my sanity and my sleep? And you can't have everything. So I ultimately have to choose.
But Miss Ina like totally understands that she wants us to excel in school and do our best. So she totally understands like if we need to take a day off to catch up, if we can't like do a certain role because it's too time consuming.
I mean, I do challenge myself with some honors courses, but I'd say I do juggle it fine, I think, for now. I haven't gotten into the harder year of high school, junior year, with like AP classes, but I think at this point, time management, it's not really something I think about. I think it's just the way of life.
There's what kind of instills this in you. It ultimately teaches you like how important discipline is in the studio and outside, and like you carry those values to your outside life.
At Bayer especially, there's a very established kind of discipline, and that's just ballet culture, so everybody has to accept it, and it's so ingrained into us by this point, especially because it's been years and years of us dancing. I mean, I've been dancing for a decade now. I've definitely noticed outside of ballet school, I've always kind of had that discipline with me, and I know that that makes me a much better student academically. I would say my teachers appreciate it too, because we're just more aware of like how we act and what we're doing, I'd say.
So discipline is like a huge part of ballet. You really won't improve without it. You have to push yourself harder every single day. Even if you feel tired, like do your best, and then the next day it'll be easier. Like what's the point of going to a ballet school that doesn't push you, that doesn't want to make you the best that you can be? We have the best teachers from all around the world. We have guest teachers. And Messina is like really detail-oriented. She cares about and values the Vaganova system.
It's very precise. It's not focused on what maybe people think of ballet today, which is lifting your legs and doing 100 pirouettes. It's focused more on how you communicate with the audience and how you express yourself on stage. And it's kind of more focused on the upper body a lot, like your legs and everything has to be precise and perfect, but it's the way your arms move, it's the way you turn your head, it's the way you look at the audience and like the message you convey when you're dancing.
I feel like the Vaganova method of dancing is, to me, there's nothing that can ever beat that. Unbeatable, because there's just some kind of grace and artistry and expression that you don't see ever. And like, for some reason, I feel like nothing could ever surpass the Vaganova style, because there's just a different quality, I'd say, and everyone just moves so differently, and then it becomes ingrained into you. And from there on, you can go into anything, any other style is very easy to learn after you have that kind of foundation. But I feel like it's just a whole different world. Bayer Ballet is incomparable to the schools around. I think it's probably one of the best in the country. And obviously that's attributed to Bayer, the director. I'm honestly I don't understand how it's only been a little over a decade and it's already such a high-level school.
It's really like a second home to me, and she's like my second mother.
We really are like a family too, and I feel like you really don't see that in many other schools around. And we've been around, taken some classes, and it's just, nobody's so close. It's something special. Bayer is practically my second mom. She's just so incredibly caring for all of us, and we're all practically her kids because we've known her from such a young age, and she finds it really important that we're doing well mentally and physically as well. So not only is she just an amazing coach, as in she always pushes us, she never lets us make ourselves worse in any way by slacking off or something, but she's always there as a teacher, but you know that she's always there as a person, a mom, just because we've known her for so long, and there's just a special relationship you make when you're with someone for so many years, every day working.
I don't think there's a closer bond that you can form than the one that forms when you're in the studio, because like the friendships I have at ballet are my closest friends, because we've been through everything together. We've been through the rehearsals that ran late. We've been through the shows. It brings you closer to the people around you in a way that I don't think anything else can. Alina's like my best friend, and Katya and I, we're super close, and we're all just really close, and we've known each other a very long time, and I can't imagine my life without them.
And I feel like without ballet, like if we were just to go to school, our relationship wouldn't be as tight. I guess with both Alina and Sasha, like we've made so many memories together at ballet that we'll never forget, and they kind of like shaped who we are.
I think we've reached a level of closeness even at age 16 that is just closer than most people get in their lifetimes, and it's probably because we spend obviously so much time together, but we've known each other since we were so young, and there's just something about dancing that brings you closer. It might be like the physicality of it, and you share so many things. My closest friend group is at Bayer because we've just all had so much time to grow close together, and so many hours spent working together, and it's just something you can't find anywhere else, I think.